Welcome, everyone, to Analytics Are for the Nerds. We are 64 days away from the NFL starting. Let's go.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
Once again, gentlemen, I'm sorry about losing your boners. So sorry.
Very clear 101 in this biggest foot in the mouth draft. And the 101 is very clearly Rex Ryan, because that guy has definitely put some feet in the mouth. 100%. Guy loves feet. His wife feet.
Big feet.
Lots of feet in
Little
the mouth.
feet.
I'm sure.
So many feet.
I gotta tell you, I am, you know this about me, I've been around for 20 years, you know I'm like 15 years late to a trend, but I'm also like 10 years before the next trend. I could rock out a visor, I think. I could rock it every day, and not for a long time, because eventually that trend will spill again, but I think tomorrow I can go out and people are like, he's rocking it, he's doing it right. He's doing it.
Hair and the double mustache and that is fucking gross. So, welcome.
I do want to be clear, though, that I have earned one, and Lou is depressed. There's a big difference. Lou is still trying to convince 16-year-olds he's cool, and they keep telling him they don't want weed from him. They can get it from anywhere.
Hi, guys. Hello.
We missed you. What's going on? How are you?
How does my clavicle look? Any carved out more? No.
It looks great.
Thank you so much. I've been really working on it. Still haven't had a carb since last week. And how are you guys doing? Happy July.
Doing okay. How was your time off? What did you have? I mean, what? It's just hotter and more miserable. Nothing is, I hate being that guy that complains about this, knowing that we don't ever get a summer. But just went from, I'll be that guy.
I hate the heat guy. You're a too hot guy.
Yeah, it's always too. Well, just look at me for 20 seconds and decide if you think I'm a hate the heat guy. Yeah, I'm fat. Everything sweats. I get, it's not cool. I don't know. I'm not a heat guy at all. I never was, even in my skinny days. But no, I'm fine. We're all fine. I have AC.
I definitely think Ryan has AC because he's wearing a full-on sweatsuit. And he's so cold. Lou, aren't you like a 9 shower a day guy or something? Didn't you say that before? Like you shower?
Yeah, in the summer, it's like it's why I don't. It takes me a lot longer to do my work day because I do always have to rush home every time I sweat. My air conditioning in my truck for the last week has died, and I just haven't had time to get it fixed. And of course, it's just been the hottest. So just every hour, I'm just rushing back home to jump into a 20-second shower to rinse off and get back to work.
Oh, well, it's going to be in the 90s this week. So Godspeed, everyone. I was gone last week. I felt like a little bit of, when something bad happens and people don't believe you. I was someone I know passed away and I had a funeral, and then I was like, oh yeah, I'll be fine. It's at 7:00 or something, or it'll be 2 hours. And then Louis like, oh, we're doing the Scott Fishbowl from 4 until 11 p.m. And I was like, oh, this funeral's going very long. And it did. It was endless. So
it was not. It was 90 minutes. 90 minutes was not. I cut it off. Even in your tradition, I said I can't. Everybody was roaring to go for more. It was a fun show. We missed you. I'm sure you have watched multiple times to catch up on everything you missed. So
yes. Yeah, no, I lost Wi-Fi after the fourth person was telling me why they picked who they picked. It was fun. No, good for you. I didn't watch it, I'll be honest, because I'm in mourning.
Oh, yes.
But But we have actually nothing really exciting is going on, but I do have some interesting stats I want to talk about for everything and nothing. And we're just going to kind of get your take on some things, guys. So first one is that 81% of people say they've pretended to like something just to fit in. Ryan, can you tell me? I'm joking. Can you guys tell me anything like that just off the top of your head that you're like, yeah, I definitely lied? Louis, keep it PG. We still want you to find love one day.
Oh man, I have to think of like a specific example. I mean, I guess just like growing up, right? I mean, in middle school, like you're trying to like find your identity. Like I remember I got into I had like a bunch of like Vans sneakers because I thought I was going to get into skateboarding, but like I couldn't ever figure out how to do the skateboarding thing. So I guess that's probably the closest I got. I mean, but who could blame you when Tony Hawk Pro Skater was out and that video game was the best, and like everybody wanted to be a skateboarder at that time. I think. That's my story.
That's good. I know I was poor and I had Payless shoes and they were named American Eagle, and I told people it was from the store American Eagle, and it clearly wasn't.
It was America Eagle.
Yeah. They're now picking up their clothes. It's fine.
But spelled EEGLE.
American Beagle.
Stop when you step in.
I am a people pleaser if that doesn't come off, and so there's zero chance that I don't do it. There's 100% chance that I do it more than 81% of the time in that Anchorman type of math, because I can't think of any specific things, but I feel like I do it on a daily basis. So sure,
I like it.
I'm not the person to be like, this shit sucked. Like, if I'm the one that's going to choke down dinner if it's bad.
Yeah, I'm the one asking to go to the funeral, so I can get out of a Scott Fishbowl job.
You're calling your friends asking if anyone's died.
Ellie just goes up to Amagon and is like, "Oh, this person looks like I would have been friends with them." So show up.
Brady, everyone's Irish around here. So here's a weird stat. This is from ESPN, that every player who tore their Achilles in the NBA playoffs wore number 0. Some from the Celtics, Indiana, and Milwaukee all wore the number 0. Any conspiracy theorists on or a weird omen about the number 0? I think that's kind of interesting, but also you're playing basketball, it's bound to happen. But any take on that? Any numerology?
I haven't heard this yet. I think 0 is just a dumb number. I think 0 is a dumb number to wear, but no, I have not heard that. I don't think that there's I'm not a superstitious person, so I don't believe in any kind of superstitions at all.
Only a little stitious. Yeah.
Exactly. I am a little stitious. I don't think I'm not buying into this one though. I mean, it's just, in my opinion, a coincidence that 3 of these players, I mean, Russell Westbrook didn't tear his Achilles. He also wears number 0. So it's just a coincidence, I think.
All right. I like it. All right. So here's some stats. We're going to go to what you're going to be part of the 81% pretending to like something to fit in. I'm going to give you a little soccer stats. Scientists have studied penalties for 5 years in the game of soccer or football for our maybe one listener, maybe. Okay, so here's some interesting some facts. Players who react too quickly to the referee's whistle are more likely to miss. Players who react within 0.4 seconds of the whistle miss 20% more of their shots. Stop me when I think it sounds interesting. Players who are able to maintain a still gaze score more. So if they're like just doing that. Players who turn their back to the goalkeeper are more likely to miss. That's that like, oh, I'm going to walk off, be cool, and then turn. I think that's interesting. Teams that celebrate harder are more likely to win the shootout.
Teams that celebrate harder?
Yeah.
Like after each make.
Yeah, when they're like, "Wah!" and they do the weird slide. And
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's just like they're pumping each other up? Like that fucking Bronco move was awesome, dude. I loved when you ripped your shirt off and went crazy, bro. That was awesome.
I mean, so cheesy. Like people are like, "Man, you're the best," and everyone's like, "Oh," and like the morale's probably huge, right? Like, "Cool job, man," and they're just like high fiving or weird dances. I'm sure it's a morale thing, right? Like,
it's way cooler than a fist pump.
Is it though?
Listen, wait. How are we getting Louis' analysis before the actual soccer coach on this podcast? All right, let me chime in on this. All right, Louis talking about fist pumping and how much that means to the rest of the team. All right, I do think, first of all, that it is proven, I think, by John Brinkus, Sports Science, RIP, actually just recently passed. They did some studies where like it's statistically it should be impossible for the goalie to score or to save the ball on a PK. Like you should score every single time. You can, just based on where you can place it, how big the net is, how far away you are. So I think it's interesting that it is really like the combination of, skill and mental, right? It's like you have some of the best players in the world that'll still blast it over the net. Like it's such a nerve-wracking experience, and having even done that at like high school or club level, it's a lot of pressure. But I mean, then you get up to like, imagine like in the Olympics, for a medal, having to do that. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I do think that there are certain tendencies about, people that can, factor in, but I don't know. Maybe I should have just kept it with Louis. What did I really offer to that conversation? Really nothing. Let's go back to the fist bump.
I agree. That's my analysis. It all sounded smart, and you put work into it. So I'm just going to agree because that's more than I could offer on soccer.
I like the PK is now the penalty kick. I like just calling it the PK. It sounds way cooler. Here's speaking of the Olympics, Ryan, that you just brought up. So flag football is going to be a sport, obviously, in the next Summer Olympics. What do you guys think about that? Any hot takes? Any like, do you feel like your Thanksgiving family football game outside now has more weight to it?
One, we play tackle still. 2, we don't. I don't have a family. Just kidding. But I like in my imaginary brain, I'm like, that would be so cool to have brothers and uncles. No, but we ended up talking about this, I think, a couple weeks ago, randomly on the podcast. But like, I'm stoked for it because I think at least for like the first like 1 or 2 Olympics, all the stars are going to want to go. Like you're going to have to hold Josh back from going to play. Like I think it's going to be so much fun to watch. And then, eventually it will become like the dream teams were for basketball where, no one wants to go because it's still the US will just be dominant.
100.
But I think the first couple, I think all the stars are going to want to go and play. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I think Khalil Shakir is going to be a sleeper on the men's Olympic team. He's very shifty. He's very good at avoiding. I mean, it's a different game. It's kind of like you want a bunch of slot guys. You want guys that can just operate underneath because you're just kind of trying to outrun the the tacklers, I guess you can call them. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun to watch.
I like it.
Can I ask a follow-up question to both of you? Sure. Put yourself in. I know it's hard to put ourselves out of a Buffalo brain, but both Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen want to go. Who's the starting quarterback? Like, who's that coach picking to be their starting quarterback?
And who's the coach?
Easy choice.
J.A.
Yeah, easy choice. In a game that potentially could you want to take advantage of the run. I think you want to do it for a quarterback.
I want to agree, and I want to believe it's not our Buffalo thing. I think if we put that poll out, and I'll put that poll out right now, see if I could get anything. I think if we put a poll out, I think most non-Buffalo people are saying Mahomes.
I still think Ryan's going to win this poll for no reason. Well, his name wasn't even in the poll. How amazing would that be? So if you're Josh Allen is the starting flag football Olympian for Team USA, and then playing behind him is as like backup is Mahomes. That would be also wild. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very, very interesting to think of that, but it's coming up sooner than later. So,
Man, we could do like a fun draft with that at some point. Like who would you guys you would want on your flag football team? There we go. There's a draft idea.
Oh, I like it.
I dig. All right. I could go into more boring stuff, but let's talk football, everyone. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but wow, the Steelers have picked up a lot of people. Steelers, Dolphin trade. Let's talk about that. And Waller returns.
Right.
You want to talk about?
So yeah, we'll start with the Steelers Dolphins trade. I think the best analogy for this is like the Olympian. Speaking of the Olympics, the Olympian that's in the water and that's just dousing themselves with more water, right? Like it's really just you're swapping out two franchises that I think are going utterly nowhere and are due for a rebuild, swapping out spare parts in an attempt to spark the team, I don't know, maybe find a better fit. From a football sense, I love player for player deals. I mean, that's exciting. On the fantasy side of things, for both Jonnu and Freiermuth, I want nothing to do with them. I already wanted nothing to do. I actually checked my exposures before, as soon as the trade went through. I had 0% Freiermuth before, and I don't think that's going to change. It's going to just be an annoying Arthur Smith offense, like with Kyle Pitts and Jonnu Smith back in Atlanta, where they're just kind of taking targets from each other. And I want no part of it, especially in an offense that's run by Aaron Rodgers. So I'll pass.
I think that I think it kills Freiermuth. I don't think it kills Jonnu. Probably, he's not going to be tight at 9 anymore, so that definitely brings down his value a little bit. But I think even in Dynasty, whatever, I think he's better than Freiermuth. I really do. And it's weird that they both kind of have the same skill set, and they made this deal. Really weird to me that Freiermuth wasn't going the other way in it. I don't know if he goes somewhere else. I mean, Arthur Smith loves 2 tight end sets and, things like that. But even then, it's just neither of them are even the blocking tight end. Darnell Washington's the blocking tight end. So you're legitimately going to have Darnell Washington might have the most snaps of those 3 tight ends because they're going to run the ball a bunch. And so, like, where are they going to either of them get their shares? I just think Smith has a better chance because I think he'll line up in the slot a lot as a receiver because they have nothing there for receiver. So I think he has a better chance to still have some production. Yeah, I guess that's really the gist of things. I thought there would be more conversation about who was going there, but bringing us to our next point, with Waller returning and going there, man, I was so excited for like a trade for like Michael Mayer or something like that like brought one of these guys that I, even Fant, maybe reviving his career a little bit. But Darren Waller, weird. I'll let you go first on what you think.
So my initial reaction to it was like almost like a laugh. Like I was just like, you can't be serious, right? They were bringing Darren Waller. That's their plan for this. Like, and the thought of Joe Shane getting that call, like, hey, we'll swap a 6 and a 7 for a retired player. Okay, great, sure. I want to hate it. I do basically think that it's mostly insignificant for fantasy, but I wonder if, Zach Ertz, for example. I mean, everyone's going to point to him. Most people were leaving him for dead. He looked like he was running out of gas in Arizona. He gets over to Washington and yeah, it's mostly on touchdowns, but he looks like he's still alive. So I don't know if there's any more juice in the tank. I'll let somebody else take that bet because unless I'm stacking him with Tua, I don't think there's much upside. So I'd much rather take, one of those other late round tight end targets that we've talked about, with more upside, Mason Taylor around earlier. You can go later and just hold off and try Arroyo. But yeah, I'm not really that interested in Waller.
Have you seen these? And it's just so crazy that people are, I don't want to say stupid, but they're dumb. All these people have been posting the last few days, like screenshots of, oh, I just saw Waller go in the 5th. He just went in the 7th or went in the 8th. Not understanding that was obviously somebody putting him in the queue because you have to find him. He's not in ADP just to remember him later and then probably autoing a pick or forgetting a pick. And then he probably went out of the queue. So all those situations are that.
I don't think all of them are that way. I do think some people are sensationalizing. They're like, oh, I want to be the guy in the room that's hilarious. Like, I'm going to draft Darren Waller at 2-7. Like, and they just don't give a shit about money. Like, they'll just be like, oh, I'll burn $10 or $5, how much whatever the contest is. So
I'm thinking the other way. Maybe I'm giving people too much credit for that. Me personally today, like, in a lot of the leagues, maybe I probably shouldn't be saying this, but like in a lot of the leagues that I'm in with the 2 tight ends and the tight end premium leagues, like I found myself not really wanting to bid on him. He's available in all of them, obviously, because and so tonight's waivers in 78 different leagues, and I went through and slowly I was being a little bit stubborn. I'm like, I'm not gonna do too much because I don't really want him. I don't believe in him. And then by the time I got to like the 30th team, I'm spending 50% of my fab on him. I don't think that's gonna get it. I think I put in 78 bids for him today. I don't think I put in one more than 50% of my fab, and I don't think I'm going to get one of them. I think a lot of people in those leagues are just going to be spending their whole fab on them, which, might make sense. And also for the lazier guys, like now you don't have to worry about, you got a really good player for your money, and then you don't have to worry about doing waivers each week. I get that, but I don't know how I value him in that league because you're definitely only getting one more year, I would imagine. He's fragile. He could go down in any minute. I don't know.
All right, here's a question. Who's going to be more successful for their position points-wise? Would you say Waller or Rodgers? If they both have 1 year left.
Like,
or not in division.
Yeah. I think
more games.
I think Rodgers is going to finish higher in the rankings than Waller will. I think that's a good question based off of the 2 positions. I think Rodgers will end up somewhere around like quarterback 22. I think he's better than where he's getting drafted at 25 or 26, slightly. And then Waller, who's probably getting drafted the last couple of days, is like tight end 26. I think he'll still end up around there.
I think you're miscalculating what tight end like 12 through 22 looks like. It's a wasteland, buddy.
Yeah.
I think I agree with your assessment on Rodgers being like early. I was going to say QB 23 is what I pin him at. I would take the under. I would bet Waller finishes like QB or tight end 18, 19, something like that.
That's a good question because it's 2 guys that I like.
Thanks, guys.
Like better. It's 2 guys that I like better, like just slightly better than ADP, and I will find myself drafting a bunch of them. I wasn't drafting any Tua, any Waddle, any Tyreek Hill, hardly any Achane, and I love them, but just in that area, I love the other guys. I have been, since this trade, like every draft I've done, I'm getting invested in Miami. They're going to be a shit show, but they're going to be good fantasy wise. I'm not investing in Tyreek Hill if I could avoid him, because that's kind of what I'm counting on. I'm counting on Hill having a meltdown in a 1-7 year, basically quitting on the team type of thing, or getting traded. And then Waddle and Achane just eating targets, like Waller getting hurt and breaking his toe in week 2 or something, and then So
wait, save moment so we can clip this. Just hold on 1 second.
What? That was, what are you saying?
Well, I'm saying like he's probably going to break his toe, and then you're going to be like,
yeah. I would not. No, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if he hurts himself in training camp. The dude left to be. I mean, he was happy. He was going to be a rapper. He's a good rapper. He's a good rapper.
Just want to let you know that 81% of people say that they and
that's good. That's funny. That's a great callback. All right. So that's that.
All right. That fishbowl happened last week. If you guys are still feeling the energy, We have a review that is not going to be done by me, just because I
Yeah,
am
I mean,
still
because
trying.
you didn't show up, you know.
Well, further,
I
I will
know,
say
I
this.
know.
We went to the live. I went to the live last year. So much fun. There really is amazing people, like especially the Western Europe people that go and do this event are really fun, really cool. And I'm sad I wasn't able to go. I was raising money for cancer. Sorry, guys. Ride for Roswell. But yeah.
Congratulations. We were raising money too. Actually, I think we were like somewhere around $4,000 from last time I saw. So did
Oh,
well
wow.
with that. That was pretty cool. We added another draft this year. So we had 4 drafts going. So had to stick 1 or 2 outside. Definitely did not. It was definitely not mine. Me and Ryan were in the same draft. It was definitely
Oh,
not ours. I stayed in the AC.
that's the thing. I had a bunch of conversations with people about this. Like, I wanted to be outside. I would have traded my spot for any spot outside easily if it wasn't
Oh,
going to be
it
such
was.
a nightmare. But man, it was beaubeautiful. It was. I don't think it was too hot. Well, you just don't like being hot. I get it.
Yeah, it was so hot. I would have had to shower 3 times mid draft. Uh, let me bring up. I do have our draft here a little bit, and I got you highlighted. If you want to talk about it, really weird. I'll say this really quick before we get. If you look at the 4 drafts, like all around, they were just so much different. It was a lot of fun. I think this format this year is the best one by far for Scott Fish. It's just was really cool. But Ryan, I'll let you go through your team here a
Before
little bit.
Ryan starts, that is Ryan. I just want to say this is the most Ryan, like, this makes sense for you.
Yeah,
Does
it's very Ryan team, but
It's
I
very
hated my team when I left the draft. I was like, it was only 10 rounds, so we'd only made it through what Spears and one more. So I started Chase, Irving, Jacobs, Hampton. So just
from the
a
1-3. Sorry, from the 1-3. Let me just
right from the
because
one
for our
three.
audience.
So Bijan and Josh Allen going 1 and 2. So I went with Chase. I still think that with receiver, I mean, the points per target is huge. The receptions, and I mean, I just expect in this offense a lot of touchdowns, and that's going to be a key. Bucky Irving, best player available, I thought at that time. With the scoring, with the premium, I think towards the running backs. Josh Jacobs, I thought was a nice value, and Hampton was a bit of a swing. I need him to basically beat out Najee for volume for that to hit. Then I went Herbert. Again, I'm higher on him. Yeah, I could have probably waited, but I thought at that time it was the right value. Then Tet followed by Worthy. So my first two receivers there. Then after Chase, Colson Loveland, followed by J.J. McCarthy, Zach Charbonnet, Jaden Higgins, Tajay Spears, Mason Taylor, and then finally Geno Smith, which I don't think he should have lasted that long. He was a 63rd overall player in scoring from if he would have applied last year's scoring to this format. So I think I've done all right, getting value. We'll see how this works out. Big, 2 shots on rookie tight ends that, are big question marks, but we'll see.
Yeah, I love the McMillan pick. I really like him a lot. Worthy, I don't love in this format, just because he might not get the volume if Wright's there. But at that point, wide receivers running thin, probably would have Pickens or I mean, how's this guy feeling about Jonnu Smith here right before you get Loveland? The dude, that's such a good that he picks Jonnu before you get Loveland. That's a great pick. I love McCarthy. McCarthy's going to have some interesting upside with the running here in this format too. I started at the 111 and in true Louis fashion, and Ryan fashion. Right? I went very young. But I did go fun with Hunter at 111. We had Sean Stutzman on. Maybe he gaslit me. Maybe he tried to he goes, maybe I'll go on to the podcast and really try to get one of these idiots to believe Hunter's the 1-1 because that's what he said. He said he felt like Hunter was the 1-1. and I did some basic stats on what it would look like, and if he really pops offensively, he could clearly be the 1-1 in this format. But I took him 111 to be cute. I couldn't let him go any further, although I was so mad because then Bowers and McBride went the next 2 picks, and I was like, oh, I kind of love them, and I did think I would get one of them coming back, but ended up with Ryan Mira's love, Jane T, and then coming back, Kittle is like the oldest guy on my team. Henderson, Judkins, Hawkinson, Ndunze, let's see, Ty Warren, Lawrence, Trevor Lawrence, Stephon Diggs, Kyle Pitts, Kyle Williams, and Wan'Dale Robinson, who I made that pick and I was like, oh, that's a steal. Like, I feel like I don't want to call steals and round, but like the just the volume alone that he gets can be awesome in this. I would love to see what his number was last year because
do you want to know how many targets he had last year? Take a guess.
120.
140 targets.
Damn.
Yeah, that was insane. Yeah.
I
think he's
a 140 points right there on targets alone.
Yeah. I think that I was really happy that
really good pick. Yeah,
I was really happy.
And look, you don't have to convince me in a draft strategy that taking young guys is the good move. I think all of the rookie running backs are good bets to, as the season progresses, take larger and larger shares of their team's backfield. So you're going to have to probably patch through a couple of the initial weeks with other positions, perhaps. But man, towards the end of the year, to have all 3 of those, 2 of the Ohio State running backs plus Genty, I mean, hell yeah, love it.
Yeah, I liked how it ended up. All right. It was a great event, though. Again, thank you for everybody who said kind words that made me. I do feel finally 4th year, I felt like this was like the smoothest and the best I did at running the event, and that's a lot to do with Fatty Beer and helping, being so helpful, and everybody else coming in and wanting to help. So I appreciate all the people, Sean Stutzman, and all the other people that offered to help. You guys made it awesome, but yeah, it's a very fun. Cool event and way less stressful than it has been in past years. So
great job, Lou.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted. I just wanted to hear your validation.
Oh, it's good. Good job. It's
now call me an idiot.
Well, because Ryan does the face and I feel bad, and then it's like I feel like you can get over things quickly, and then Ryan will send a cop out at me if I'm trying to express it, and then he's like, "Oh, you're the idiot." And it's like a thing.
That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
You're like, I'm not a police officer. I'm a lawyer. All right, we are playing Who is the Idiot? This is a fun game where I give the gentleman a topic, and they have to convince me that they are correct. Whoever is least correct or least interesting is the idiot. All right. Shall we go? Let's see. Here's my first question. Does anyone want to volunteer to go first, or am I just?
No, you got to pick.
Oh, it's too much. Okay,
I'll go first. The first question.
Okay, all right. I like it. I like that your leadership you're doing.
There it is. Taking leadership.
All right. So who's the idiot? Who's the one guy you find yourself drafting more of over the past few weeks than you did during the off season?
I didn't prepare for any of this after I wrote the question, but I know my answer. There's 2.
You wrote the question, and now you get. Okay, now that's a pretty idiotic.
I didn't. No, I just didn't. I forgot. I sent them, and then I did not have time to think about this. But I figured they would all be easy, and this one is. But there's 2 guys, and one would be given Ryan credit, and one would not. So I'm gonna go with Trey Harris, but I will say an honorable mention in Emeka Ibuka. Ryan just couldn't stop talking about this dude, and now every time he's in my queue, I got this cute little Ryan on my shoulder saying, draft him. And I've been drafting him more than I want to. And then, the guys that have won money who are more successful, less mean than Ryan, Sean Stutzman has really tried to convince me on Trey Harris. And I have found myself, because I like Houston, that's why I've gotten on the board because of the week 17 correlation, that I've gotten on board with drafting a lot more Trey Harris. So I'll probably say Trey Harris is number one of this, but I'll give Ryan a little bit of a nod and say Ibuka has been rising up my board.
And I just want it for the record, you described Ryan as a Polly Pocket on your shoulder. All right, taking notes of that. Okay. Ryan.
All right. Well, in the same vein as Louis, we're going to stick with wide receivers here. And the guy that I'm going to choose for this is Demario Douglas. So I think a couple of things. First of all, when you're answering this type of question, the price is very important to consider. It's a major part of this. So he's going right now, I think his ADP is somewhere like in the 180s. I was trying to pull it up, but it's somewhere around there. You can take my word for it. Let's see. I'm just actually pulling it up now. 172. Okay. So he's going, what is that? 15th, 16th round. So it's really, really late. And if you buy into the premise that New England is going to have an improved offense this year, which I think is pretty obvious, they finally invested a little bit in their offensive line. They have, an explosive weapon at running back. And yes, there are still some questions at wide receiver, but finally some stability with Diggs and so on and so forth. So let's just say the offense is elevated and Drake May takes a step. I want a guy who's going to be out there on 70% or more of snaps. And Demario Douglas he's probably right now like penned in as their slot receiver. So I want a guy who's going to be on the field in an offense that's going to potentially score more points and is a pretty good bet for volume too. So he is an easy click for me. And I only have 13% right now in post draft best ball, but I'm going to try to make that like into the 20s.
Would you like to give Stacey Perez any credit for that? Because she did come on.
Oh, she did mention that. Yes.
Yes. Sometimes things like that get in our heads, and then we're like, "Oh yeah, that makes a lot more sense." And that's and especially with people we respect, I find myself doing much. Don't take my Buka take as me respecting you, Ryan. I'm just saying, I'm starting to click him a little more.
Now I'm going to start clicking on Demario Douglas. That was a great response, Ryan. Ryan wins that round. Louis even said, I wrote this question, but I'm going to do a Ryan answer and give you two.
You don't have to say it till the end. And that's
that round. Okay, you're right. Okay, but for that round,
don't say it. I don't want to hear it three times.
Let's give you a second question. Out of the top 5 offenses, out of the top 5 offenses points per game from last year, Lions, Bills, Ravens, Bucks, and Commanders, who will fall the most? Again, that's Lions, Bills, Ravens, Bucks, and Commanders. Who will fall the most? Ryan.
I love this question. So props to you, Louis. All right. I know you're giving me credit for Ibuka on the first one, but let me give you some credit for a really good question here. Because I was hoping that you would go first on the first one so that I could be the first one to answer this question, because I think there's a clear answer here, and it's the Lions. All right. Whoa. It's the Lions. I think we should be a little worried about the Lions. Now, here's why. I don't think that the loss of their starting center was like a non-factor. I think that's kind of a big deal when you have continuity in an offensive line that really makes your team click. That's a pretty significant loss. Didn't even start with the biggest one, Ben Johnson leaving for the Chicago Bears. Then you talk about this cryptic injury and this Amon-Ra St. Brown having surgery to clean up his knee in the offseason. All right, that's not always great. And so they're pumping up Jameson Williams, but like, I get it. He's a big play threat. Is that going to be repeatable next year with the different offensive coordinator, with different pieces, and with, an offensive line that is a little bit in flux? I think that just of those teams, they are the least, the team that I'm least sure is going to stay in the top 5. I think the rest of those teams are pretty insulated. And it's crazy to say that about the Bucks, but I think all of those other teams are really insulated.
I'll just tell you right now, Allie, I'm not going to say a word like insulated. So if that's going to make me the idiot, all right, I'm just telling you. All right, let me tell you about this shit. No, I agree. I would have picked Detroit second. I don't hate some of your points. My counterpoint to that is the defense should be a lot worse. So they should be in games, trying in heat races, trying to score more points is what I'm going to bet on a little bit. And it's just hard for me to say this. I think the most obvious answer, and surprised that you didn't go with that when you said you thought it was easy, was I do think the Commanders are the obvious answer, and that is between the McLaurin contract situation right now, which I'm sure is going to be nothing, but still, that's a factor. The sophomore slump, like, I'm sorry, it's just a thing. Am I betting that it's going to happen on Daniels? No, but does it happen all the time? Yeah. So, like, that. They have no running game. Like, I don't know. I think it's really easy to see them be just like a 5-11 or 5-12 team next year and just like fall because Daniels becomes Stroud and they just struggle. McLaurin gets hurt or doesn't show up or whatever. I think it's pretty easily the Commanders here.
First of all, the point with the Lions on the defense.
I'm sorry, I don't think he gets a rebuttal, ma'am.
let me just. It's good. It's good. The people need to know. All right. So first of all, with a defense being bad, that isn't always necessarily good for a fantasy offense, because that means the defense is going to be on the field longer, so you're going to have fewer plays to run. The key with the Lions has always been they run a ridiculous amount of plays. So if that goes down because their defense sucks, I think that's going to mean regression for them. That's not going to mean progression. And then secondly, I forgot my second point.
Interrupt the judge and then come on, man.
Interrupt the judge. That's not it. No, she was waiting for my point. She wanted to hear that.
That was yeah. I'm just glad Louis closed his statement by ending it with, and that's why I chose the Commanders, because I was like, what is he rambling about? I kid. Do you need to finish your statement, Ryan?
It was just something on the Commanders, why it was preposterous. Oh, this was the point. So Jaden Daniels last year was like a kingmaker for Olamide Zaccheaus, and De'Ami Brown got him paid $10 million in Jacksonville. Like he had this ridiculous accuracy on the long throws. So like, yes, they don't have like, they just, I feel like they have like the perfect offense to just like keep it humming for next year, because he has the threat of the run and he also has ridiculous accuracy on deep throws. It's just like Lamar. So
I would like the record to show that he came in with more rebuttal and made his point worse somehow. Thank you.
Yes. Record noted. All right. So, all right. Now here's my question. I guess you're right. We should save the idiot to the very end. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. Yeah. So here's my very deep thought question. I was thinking about giving you guys this question beforehand, but I thought, no. What is the greatest song of summer of all time?
Oh, that's so good. I was going to ask you guys this during the draft. That's awesome. Go ahead, Ryan. Oh, wait, no, you got to pick.
I have one that came to mind right away that.
Wait, Allie has to pick somebody.
Okay,
you can't just
I will say greatest of all time. And then if you are so inclined, no, do greatest of all time. And if I need a tiebreaker, which I probably will, I'll do a follow-up. Okay, so Ryan, you can go first.
Oh my God, I'm between two. There are two songs that when I think of like a summer hit, trying to think of which one I would have heard more, which one I'd be more likely to listen to now. Maybe that's a better way to think of it. I'm gonna go "Blurred Lines" by Robin Thicke. Okay. I think that song was played 8 million times in the summer of 2013, probably. So it was between that and one other one. I'll be interested to see if Louis picks it. Probably not.
No, absolutely not. I'm sure I'm not picking the same one that you picked. And there's one song that I play as soon as it gets nice every year, windows down that first nice day, and that is "Summertime" by Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Smith or Jeff, and that is the song of the summer that makes the summer start.
Wow. Both
I feel like I misunderstood the question. It was like a song that was released during the summer is what I like.
Well, so my answer would be like my favorite of all time, like my favorite song that reminds me of summer ever when I hear it. Like I would say like a Beach Boys song, right? Or "The Way" by Fastball was my favorite summer song ever that came out. It was like 97. I just remember it was like the summer of good music. But yeah, you Blur, but I get it. Blur, it's like how Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter last year was a summer song.
That's what I mean. It just like brings you back to like one specific summer that you would only hear that song one year. That's like, I guess,
more argument to argue. Watermelon Sugar. Styles is really good.
Yeah. I think John Mayer released the song in August once. I want to nominate that one.
Okay.
I mean, that alone. I mean that interpretation alone should probably win me
the song.
I mean, I'm just gonna refresh everyone on the who's the idiot so far. So I just want to talk. Okay, Ryan, great examples throughout his case. I asked, give me one example, and then Louis gave me two. And then he did a really great soliloquy, and then ended it with the Commanders. I'm glad he didn't say the Indians or anything. I'm glad he's then he picked his favorite summer song as a canceled actor, Will Smith. So
it's not canceled. What's he canceled for?
A slap.
He can't be canceled for the slap.
Yeah, I don't think he's canceled.
He's not canceled.
Okay, so I guess Ryan, last final question. Do you think Will Smith is canceled?
Oh man.
You're speaking to me who's picking. Just
I know, but listen, I'm also a man. I can't be a flip-flopper here. All right. I stand with Lou on that. Like he's not canceled for the slap. He just released an album. He just released a song. And his thing
not bad. That song's a summer song.
Right. And his thing is he never curses in any of his songs.
Except his new single.
No, there's no swear words in it.
I think he says the S word. Have you heard that song, Lou?
Wait,
like, no. I love my girls.
But also, what's the S word? Because I don't think we have the same definition of swearing. I'm
sorry for saying that because I feel like I was trying to make, in case like my 9-year-old niece decided to watch, I was like, oh, the S word. The S word is shit. What's your funny. S word?
That's what I was wondering because I did not think shit was one that you would consider a bad word.
Well, I think it's not available to be played at I don't know, in the car when someone's watching Bluey or I don't know on their iPad, whatever.
Who's the idiot?
Louis or the idiot. Okay. Listener, the new Will Smith song is kind of funny because it's like catchy, but also he's like, I love hot women. Yes, I do. Like, okay. Anyway, so that's who's the idiot. Now we are entering the first full week of the 4th of I'm sorry. Let me start again. I just had heat stroke. I'm sorry, guys. We are entering our first holiday of the summer, which is the 4th of July. So we are going to draft the best 4th of July things. It could be anything you want. It could be anything that reminds you of the 4th, anything that happens to be on the 4th, whatever. Louis, would you please pick the order?
Yep. Ryan's got the number 1. I got the number 2. And Allie, you got the number 3 and 4. All right. Yeah.
All right. I think there's a clear 101. I've said that most times I've had a 101 pick, but it's not the one that you think. And I'm going to go with hot dogs as the number 1 pick on the 4th of July. Listen,
I love it.
It's
Strong.
if you don't have a hot dog on the 4th of July, get the fuck out. Just get the fuck out of here. You gotta have
Allie.
a hot dog. You gotta have a hot dog.
Allie,
All right?
get out of here.
You can have a tofu dog or whatever kind of dog there is that's not a vegetarian, a vegan dog.
Carrots.
Yeah, great. Works for me.
Sorry.
Just put it on a bun, slap some ketchup on it, please, or don't. Actually, ketchup is overrated, but we'll
Also
save that for. Yeah. But I have to have hot dogs. The hot dog eating contest. Easy pick. Gotta have them on the team.
I like it.
It would have been maybe my 102. Like I thought I was getting it, so I thought you would get it. I'm gonna go with. I've kind of made it a tradition, whether it be here locally, which is most of the time, or travel to Pittsburgh or Cleveland or Toronto or somewhere close by. I like being at a baseball game on the 4th of July. It feels there's something very Americana about being at a baseball game on the 4th of July, and that is that's my number one pick. And it looks like I pissed Ellie off.
You did, because I brought out Analytics of the Nerds super fan for this draft.
You were ready to pick the baseball game. I know it's one of my. I mean, it's my favorite night of the year. The BPO takes 17 hours during the fireworks, and but it's and if it's not here, wherever you go, I went one year to Pittsburgh. Pitbull was playing. Flow Rider was playing after the game. We didn't even know. Like, we just bought tickets just thinking it had Flow Rider and fireworks. It was awesome.
2 for 1. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wow. That is a fantastic picks, both of you. I'm gonna. Okay. Oh, okay. My 101 will be. I'm gonna make this all weird because birthdays are weird. It's the start of Thigh Guy Summer. I love summer. I love when now guys show their legs. Men have the best legs. Usually, even the worse they are on top, the stronger their legs are, because they're just strong and they have to hold a big body. So then they got these big tree trunk legs. Long live Thigh Guy Summer. Long live the summer. Long live sunburns. And I love that now, guys, they're board shorts are now a 7-inch inseam, where it's questionable that you're I hope nothing weird happens. I love it. Thigh Guy Summer. Full effect on the 4th of July. Thank you, men, for your work. As ladies and gays are very happy about that. And then I'm going to go number 2 is just, I like a good, a rosé. A nice, I just like having a glass of wine because I had the day off. Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Nothing
crazy. A glass or bottle.
No. I
like your Thigh Guy thing. I have recently said I was going to be probably a lifer without a tattoo, but I think I want to get a small tattoo somewhere on my arm, just something small, only in preparation to get one on my thigh, because I think, or my upper, what's the thing in front? I love that in front. I love that upper thigh tattoo on dudes. I'm you're so cool. I want to be. And then they show off. They can wear shorter shorts and show off a fucking bomb ass tattoo. So cool. Those dudes are so cool. They got cool mustaches. We all saw what happened with mine. It wasn't cool. Hate it.
Aren't guys so hot?
They are, man.
There's a lot of talk about guys going on. I'll give you Thigh Guy Summer, but there is no way that you can say that men have the superior legs, compared to women. Are you kidding me?
No, we've got great legs, but I'm just saying, I think, well, you guys can long live a swimsuit, summer dress. We're killing women. We're killing it also. We're killing it. But we're killing it.
It's just not comparable.
Yeah, no.
Thigh Guy Summer, all right,
but I'm saying,
went a little far.
Thank you for showing us some leg. Finally,
we were about to get hate emails on Allie for not lifting up the women.
Oh,
am not putting on fireworks. That's not my favorite thing in the world. It wouldn't make my top 20. But I will say the videos of people injuring themselves with fireworks are one of the best things of 4th of July. Those are badass and so funny because, dude, you are not cool. You are never cool. And just because you make things go loud around your little nieces and nephews and your stupid brothers and redneck. All right, sorry. I hate that guy.
Trunk guys.
Yeah, and your tree drunk guys with your with your really hot tattoos. Yeah, I hate you guys.
Yeah, all sweaty. Only 2 showers a day. Yeah,
So that's my next pick.
good. I like it. Good. Ryan, what's your number 2?
All right. I don't know what that train wreck was, but let me paint this beautiful picture for our listeners and our viewers here. Okay. I'm going to paint a beautiful picture for a 4th of July that you want to be experiencing for my next 2 picks. Yeah. First of all, you just going to give it away here by saying you walk down a boat dock. All right. And there's a Yeti cooler, and it's full of just ice cold, the coldest Budweisers, not Bud Light, not Blue Light. I'm talking.
Is there a bikini bottle standing next to it? Is this a commercial?
Bud heavy, ladies and gentlemen. All right, and you pick up the can, and it's first of all, it's a king of beer, so it's got the crown on there. It's the red can. It's beautiful. You grab the can. It's almost like it's like it hurts your hand a little bit how cold it is. But you crack that open, you start drinking that beer. I'm drafting Budweiser beer. I mean, that's just like 4th of July. It's America. You got to have it. And then boating on the 4th of July is the greatest way to celebrate by far. I mean, I used to drive off to, they are not a sponsor. That's right. I used to go with the boat up to like Grass Island when that used to be a thing. And then I found out that's no longer a thing, that kids don't do that anymore. So I was a little disappointed. But wherever they go now in Buffalo, like Grand Island area, to hang out, just dock the boat and drink and have a good time. That's how you do it.
That's a good one. You revived yourself with that one. I like that a lot. Boating's good. I am gonna go. I think the best thing the 4th of July has given us is Tommy Callahan's famous line where he goes, "John Hancock." Yeah, more like Herbie Hancock, huh? And it's like it's my favorite line. I laugh at every time I hear that John Hancock. I do the laugh. I do the whole thing. I do the line every time that I've heard it my whole life. So yeah, that's given us that famous comedy line. I'll take it.
All right. That is very, very funny. See, if we want to, my one vote was drinking, and Ryan said Budweiser. So we're still okay. All right.
We already want wine. I mean, what are you trying to be, a lush?
So my number 3 pick, since we're really just intentionally not picking the obvious ones, I'm going to go with the Thunder shirt. I have 2 lovely dogs, and one always needs a little extra love. Thunder shirts are used to release a dog from their anxiety. And as we all know, like fireworks are really traumatic for dogs and veterans who we should be honoring in such an occasion. Just saying. Wow. Anyway.
Yeah. My Uncle Dirk used to bark all the time. Every time he heard fireworks, he would just bark. Just horrible flashbacks.
So my number 4 pick, I'm going to say the this is okay. I like the day off, and usually it brings people together, right? It's kind of, your family can come around, friends, something usually happens because it's a nice day. So the day off.
I like that. I have a lot of movie and like music choices here that I guess because I used the Tommy Boy quote, I'll leave that out. I'll leave the movie category out. I think I still would like to put in. I think the song. I almost use this for my summer song. I think the song "Born in the USA" has to be on the 4th of July list. I just it's one of the first songs you'll hear on a 4th of July playlist. I'm into it.
Great pick.
I was so worried because I'm also going music theme. I'm not doing fireworks. It's overrated. I'm not doing a parade because I'm not going there by choice. I'm only going like if it's for my daughters. Like I'm not gonna sign up to just do that. I'm gonna go CCR. I think CCR is like it's maybe like kind of anti-establishment, arguably. With the anti-patriotism songs and stuff. But I love Creedence Clearwater Revival. Like I'll just play that all day long on the 4th. So it's a niche pick, but for CCR fans, I mean, it makes sense, I think.
All right, and just that's a great pick. I like that you are not going to a parade unless your daughters want to go. So.
Well, why? What I mean, like, just the parades on the 4th. Like, I don't know. I mean, they're just you're standing around waiting for people to wave at you. Like, I don't understand the point.
I can't wait for the girls to be like, Papa, can we go to the parade today? And then you're gonna be like, oh, of course.
I told you I'll gladly go if they want to go to the parade and watch people wave at us. Fine, we'll do it. But like, it's not. I'm not choosing that.
You just wait. They're going to be parade girls. This was fun. This was a really fun draft. I like that we went a little bit different. I hope everyone has a very lovely 4th of July. I know Louis have fun in the heat.
Going camping. Real quick, just to tell our listeners, 2 weeks we'll have Dave Kluge on again, and then in 3 weeks Pat Corain is on with us. Next week we might have a guest, might not, but we got a couple big guests coming up here in July, so tune in for those shows.
All right, everyone, have a safe holiday, and just a reminder, 64 days until that Thursday night football game. So enjoy. Thank you for listening to Analytics Are for the Nerds, and we will see you soon.